Hey everyone, it's Tobes, and welcome to your second monitor. Today for Midweek Magic, we have Chromatic Start Standard. This is just a standard event. You build a standard deck and come to play, The only difference is both players have an emblem called A Star is Born, which is to say, during both players' first upkeep, they get a free Chromatic Star artifact, which is a 1-drop artifact that if you pay 1, tap and sack it, you add 1 mana of any color, and when it goes to the graveyard, you draw a card. So yeah, you get a free extra card draw, essentially. You could use this for mana fixing, but it doesn't really make that much of an impact on our standard decks. So yeah, what we've got for our standard deck today is something I'm calling Aura Aggro. There are several versions of this deck online, and mine is a little different, but pretty similar. It's kind of a Bogles deck. We're building up little creatures that we care about getting bigger, and we're getting them bigger with both counters from playing our enchantments and from enchantments, mostly auras. So I'll go through our cards and we'll see how this works. So Optimistic Scavenger is sort of the basis of our deck, a 1-mana 1/1 with an Eerie trigger. We don't have any rooms in this deck, so it's just really a Constellation trigger. It just puts a counter on a creature, which can be itself. Seems good. We've got a Veteran Survivor from Duskmourn. It's a Savannah Lions, a 1-mana 2/1 with a survival trigger. It lets us exile a card from a graveyard if it is tapped at the beginning of our second main phase, and once there are 3 or more cards exiled with it, it gets +3/+3 and hexproof. So typically it doesn't get there. People are wary of the Veteran Survivor, but when it does, it becomes a 5/4 hexproof in addition to whatever else we've enchanted it with, and that's pretty good. We're running a couple of Skyward Spiders. This, of course, is the Spider-Man printing, but we'll see what it looks like in Arena. It's double hybrid Azorius mana for a 2/2 with Ward 2 that has flying as long as it's modified. We're going to be modifying it with auras or with counters, particularly counters from our Optimistic Scavenger. We've got a couple of Spellbook vendors, or, play set of them. A 2-mana 2/2 with Vigilance that puts a Sorcerer roll on a creature we control at the start of combat if we pay a generic mana. Sorcerer rolls are auras that give +1/+1, and when this creature attacks, scry 1. So a little bit of card selection. It adds to our aura count, which is relevant to our ethereal armor, which we'll see in a minute. Yeah, and it's a 2/2 vigilance, which means it can attack well if its stats are good. It's not hard to get it there. We've also got a little bit of stacks in the form of Voice of Victory. It's not really stacks, I guess it's more protection. This is the 2-mana 1/3 with Mobilize 2 that makes it so our opponents can't cast spells on our turn, which can be pretty helpful. Usually it just means they wait an extra turn to cast their spells, but sometimes the Voice of Victory can do a lot of work for us, especially with these mobilized triggers. Then we're just full up on enchantments. Authority of the Consuls is the other half of our quote-unquote stacks, making our opponent's creatures come in tapped for just a single white mana, and gaining us life every time one of their creatures comes in, so that can give us a little bit of extra time to get our board in a position where we want it to be, while they have to fight through that extra life. Just a good 1-drop. We've got Ethereal Armor, like I mentioned a moment ago. 1-mana aura that gives +1/+1 for each enchantment we control, as well as First Strike, so this can be pretty nice on our Veteran Survivor, on our Spellbook vendor with its Vigilance, especially on our Skyward Spider, because it can fly once it's enchanted. So yeah, just a nice way to up our aura count, our enchantment count, especially with the Spellbook vendor's roll tokens, and Ethereal Armor can make things pretty big. We've got a couple of Seam Rips. These are removal spells for a single white. They enter and they O-ring something with mana value 2 or less, which is fine. I have seen people run versions of this deck that have more Seam Rips in them. I don't know how much good it does, which, now that I've said it, means we're going to see a lot of times during this video where I wish I would have had some Seam Rips, but it's fine. And it's a 1-mana enchantment, so it helps our count. We've got a couple of Shard Mage's Rescues. This one is terrific. It's a 1-mana flash enchantment that gives hexproof as long as it entered this turn, and +1/+1. So a nice little bit of pump, a nice little bit of protection at flash speed. I like it. We're running Feather of Flight. We've got a playset of these. It's 2 mana. It also flashes in. It draws us a card, so it cantrips when it comes in, and it gives +1/+0 and flying, which is pretty nice to have if we're not putting something on our Skyward Spider, which would already have flying. We've got 3 Origin of Spider-Mans, which is a very helpful Weaver in the Omen Paths version. It's a 2-mana Saga that makes us a 2/1 Spider with reach, then puts a 1/1 counter on one of our creatures and gives it different types. And then finally gives one of our creatures double strike. So it's a 2-mana 2/1 plus an extra counter, and maybe, if we get to that point, some double strike. So a lot of value for just 2 mana. Finally, we've got Sheltered by Ghosts, which if you've played any standard, you've seen it before. It's 2 mana, it enchants only one of our creatures, and it O-rings a non-land permanent under itself, meaning our creature is now, sort of a built-in 2-for-1, 3-for-1 when they get us with it, but it gives that enchanted creature +1/+0, lifelink, and ward 2. So that lifelink really can help us in this, especially with the +1/+0, but for 2 mana, as long as we've got a creature, we're getting rid of something our opponent has, we're pumping up one of our creatures, giving it lifelink, and protecting it just a little bit. So if we can do this early on, especially on something like an Optimistic Scavenger, we can go turn 1 Optimistic Scavenger, our opponent plays something on turn 1, we Sheltered by Ghosts it on turn 2, getting rid of whatever they got, triggering the Scavenger, putting a counter on it, and now it's attacking as a 3/2 lifelink ward 2. Pretty nice. And then we've just got 21 planes because, as you can see, our curve is unbelievably low. And yeah, that's all we're doing. It's pretty straightforward. And as I mentioned, the Chromatic Star that we get for it doesn't really help us a lot, but I mean, heck, it's an extra card draw. I don't mind it. So yeah, that is our deck for this week for Midweek Magic. So thanks in advance for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get to our gameplay. Okay, we are going into game 1 versus Chrysalis, something along those lines. This is an okay opener, we don't mind it. Easy to keep a 2-lander in a deck that the curve stops at 2. So we will go ahead and play our Scavenger and start us off. The Scavenger is a great start because it can become a 2/2 so easily. Veteran Survivor is also great because, again, it's a Savannah Lions, it's a 1-mana 2/1. So either way works for us. I just want to make sure we get our triggers from the Scavenger. Okay, we got a Llanowar Elves coming in. We can do some fun stuff here. I think we do the thing I was just talking about and get them off of their mana and attack in with a 3/2 with lifelink. So we got a little bit of a life swing, especially since they shocked in their stomping grounds to make that happen. And with ward 2, now they can't remove our Scavenger, at least for another turn. Okay, nothing doing. They plotted highway robbery, which is not terrible for us. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to crack our Chromatic Star. Just go ahead and get it out of the way. Since we're going to use our mana this turn, we'll play one of our Spellbook Vendors. We'll go to combat and activate the Spellbook Vendor, or rather pay for its trigger, and get a Sorcerer roll, get an extra counter. We might as well put all of our eggs in one basket, put them to 10, and scry. I don't think we really... we can use another planes. We might need to rebuild next turn, so we'll see if this is helpful to us. Turn 3, we're at 28 life, our opponent's already at 10 life, and they've spent half of their mana to draw a card. And that's enough for them. Good game, Chrysalis. Yeah, I think using the Chromatic Star early is a pretty good choice. What do we have? We get Magma Blood Archaic. Ooh. Wow, that's really cool. I really like Secrets of Strixhaven. It's a lot of fun. I might be posting a draft video of it soon. We'll see. But yeah, I think cracking the Chromatic Star early is good if you don't really need to fix your mana. All right, game 2 versus Batamino. They are fervent either way. Yeah, this is fine. We can do something with this. We can Veteran Survivor into Feather of Flight, or into Voice of Victory, or Shelter by Ghost if we need to, whatever we need. Alright, our opponent's got... They were going to 6, but they've got sweet Avatar Aang sleeves. And they're starting off with a Leyline Axe in play. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll Veteran Survivor. And see if we can't escape the danger here. What I'm hoping we can do is let them get a creature in play, then equip the Leyline Axe, and then we Sheltered by Ghosts their creature so that they've missed their chance to do cool stuff with that Leyline Axe. I think we Feather of Flight here, draw ourselves a card, get a little bit more damage in. Sure. Don't get to exile anything with a Survivor, but a 3/1 flyer is already okay. Alright, opponent's thinking about it. Oh, they've got this very emo Owlin hanging out, silver quilling it up. Or maybe that's Bloombro? Or not Bloombro, but Witherbloom? Well, speaking of blooms, we got a Bloom Tender. That is a great card to get rid of. So I think we will. Let's go ahead and crack our star. See if we get anything better. No, we got a lot of land. So we're going to Sheltered by Ghosts to get rid of that Bloom Tender and put them off their mana. At least a little bit. And we'll gain some more life and do a little more damage. We can eat their Chromatic Star. That works for me. Can we eat our graveyard stuff? Yes, we can. So we've got another Chromatic Star we can eat, so we're 2/3 of the way there, assuming our Veteran Survivor survives this turn. Which presumably they will. Oh, looks like they did. Good. We cannot Seam Rip their Axe, but we can Voice of Victory right now. So that our turn is just our turn. Alright, we're going to eat our own Chromatic Star, and we're a little closer to being a real threat in the air. We will pass. Alright, they can remove our Survivor now. But they don't. April O'Neil Hacktivist. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to Ethereal Armor onto our Survivor, making it a little bigger. We're going to Seam Rip. We can't Seam Rip April or the Leyline Axe, but we can do more damage with it. Yeah, we'll just Seam Rip nothing. And then we will attack, and I think this is it. They can block the Voice of Victory, but then we've got 10 damage, and that's it. Good game, Batamino. The reason we Seam Ripped there was to get our Ethereal Armor up just one higher, so that we had a power of 8, meaning we're attacking with 3 1-power creatures on the ground. They can only block one of them, so a total of 10, and that's enough to do it. All right, we've got another rare or mythic. It looks like a rare. It is The End. Hey, Wilds of Eldraine. Love it. All right, cool. Let's keep rolling. Okay, we're into game 3 versus the Woo Soldier with Bebop and Rocksteady as our avatar. This is an okay keep. I'm fine with this. If you like Bebop and Rocksteady, check out the video's description, and you'll be able to see a commander deck piloted by them that I made during TMNT being the premier set in Standard. Okay. Well, I don't love Spirebluff Canal. It makes me think that we're up against Izzet discard. But we're going to play to what we're playing. So here's our Optimistic Scavenger. Do we get removed immediately? Do we have like a Burst Lightning? There you go. Yep. Alright, well, it's out of their hand. Sleight of Hand? Ooh, very cool looking Sleight of Hand. The Trickster's Guide to Staying Alive. I really like the names of the books that they attribute the quotes on all the Mystical Archive cards to. Looks like they might crack their Chromatic Star. Maybe not. Alright, well, we will. We're going to crack it for blue, since we're going to Wonder Weave Aerialist here, just to make them think we might be an Azorius deck. Oh, we've got 2 of them. Good. So what's nice about this is we've got the Wonderweave Aerialist. We can enchant it next turn to give it Hexproof, or Ward 2. Or it's already got Ward 2, I'm sorry. To give it Flying and Sneak in. Oh, Flow State. Flow State is so cool. They look at the top 3, and if they have an instant or sorcery in their graveyard, they put 2 of them in their hand and 1 on the bottom. Otherwise, they put 1 in their hand and 2 on the bottom. All right, we got another Sleight of Hand. Looks like we're doing sort of maybe a Tellurian Terror sort of situation here. So if I triple Ethereal Armor here, I get quite a bit of damage in. I think I'm just going to Ethereal Armor on the Wonderweave Aerialist, attack for 3, and play the other Aerialist. Now they may have the dragon from Tarkir Dragonstorm that bounces 2 things, the Meringue River Regent, something like that. But both of my creatures have Ward, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, cracking their star. 4 mana, 7 cards. What do you got, opponent? Their Flow State, okay. I just noticed that they are a standard bearer, so maybe they're going to do better than us in this game, being that they play a lot more standard than I probably do. Storm Chaser's talent. Yeah, we've got some of this going on. All right. Well, and they've still got a 1-drop in hand, but it's not going to be very interactive, it looks like. We can Shard Mage's Rescue if we want to pump things up. I think what we'll do is we'll Feather of Flight here. See if they have Counterspell. Looks like they don't. So we've got 7 damage in the air. We can Ethereal Armor as well. We've got a lot more damage. And then let's go for broke. Let's spread it out. We've got Xaxes. We'll see if they can do anything about it. Nope, doesn't look like. Good game, Woo Soldier. All right, well, that was all right. Yeah, dangerous playing against those Izzet players. You never know what they're going to do to you. Well, we went 3-0. Let's see what our cosmetic is. Ooh, Proctor's Gaze, so cool. I love Secrets of Strixhaven. I love original Strixhaven. Yeah, just a big fan. Let's keep going. Let's see what how far we can go with this. Maybe that means we'll lose now. It is game 4. We are against Alucard CL777. I don't love this hand. Spellbook Bender just feels so slow in a 1s and 2s deck, but we're gonna try it. We will begin by scavenging optimistically, I suppose. If they want to harm us, they certainly can. Okay, they're cracking their Chromatic Star to draw. I figure if we don't draw a land next turn, I might do the same. They get lost us, okay. We've lost our Scavenger, and that is okay. Because, alright, we get land. We will scavenge, and we're going to crack one of these maps and see what we get. It's, alright, Voice of Victory, that seems pretty good. Authority to the Consoles, yeah, sounds great. Gives us a reason to start playing creatures. Which we will. I will throw out this Spellbook Vendor to see if they've got some interaction that they want to get rid of. They don't. We will go to combat, use the Spellbook Vendor on our Scavenger, see if they're going to remove the Scavenger. They don't, so the Scavenger gets a little bigger. And we can get in for 4. Scry into... Okay, spring-loaded saw blades. We lose our scavenger. Great. Scry into... What do we have? Aerialist. That seems good. Yeah. Because we can Spellbook Vendor and either explore with our map or just give it a sorcerer roll. Alright, Authority of the Console. So we do need to play more to the board so we can start getting things out. Not really worried about them doing anything on our turn because they're tapped out. So we will play the Aerialist. They gain some life, but we will take it back from them in just a moment. We're going to crack our Chromatic Star in the process. Might as well just draw a card. Okay, we got some land. And now we're going to scry and see what else we got. Shardmage's Rescue is always welcome. Happy to see it. We'll play our planes, and we will explore a little bit onto the Spellbook Vendor. They scry a bit. Yep. Alright, now we've got a 4/4 with Vigilance that scries when it attacks and can put rolls on our other things. Our opponent is building up artifacts and enchantments. Ooh. Artifacts enter tapped. Okay. And they can destroy our artifacts, which seems like not too big of a deal. I think what we want to do... Maybe we Voice of Victory. It'll come in tapped, they'll gain 2. Then we go to combat. We use the Sorcerer roll to give our Wonderweave Aerialist flying. And we hold up for Shardmage's Rescue. And we scry a little bit. They will also scry. Ethereal Armor seems good. Would like to get a little more land, but this is okay. We'll see what they have to say. If they just take the damage, that's fine. Yep. They go to 7. We are shields down. We're not really in the mood to care about artifacts, so I'm not really worried about this Dauntless Dismantler. But they may have something else coming up. We'll see. Overlord of the Mistmoors is pretty dangerous. They get some flyers. And Overlord impends. That seems fine. We can Sheltered by Ghosts to get rid of that. And I think we might just do that. Sheltered by Ghosts. On, let's say, our Wonderweave Aerialist. Lose the Overlord. We don't have to worry about it right now, but it would be nice to get a little bit of life gain right now. I think we continue to hold up Shardmage's Rescue. So for now, we will go to combat. We'll put the Sorcerer roll on Voice of Victory, I suppose. And what the heck, let's swing in. We got a lot of triggers. It's all scrying, except for this Mobilize trigger. That does get them some life, that's true. So maybe we want to hold back on Voice of Victory in the future. Land, seems good. We'll leave it on top 3 times. I'm expecting our opponent to pull out a board wipe at some point. We'll see if they do. Spellbook Vendor kills their Dismantler, and they just take the damage for everything else. Okay. Maybe they already have the wipe. We'll see. Right. They attack? Okay, they've definitely got a board wipe. Day of Judgment? Yep. Okay. We can't save anything, unfortunately. And they get back their Overlord directly into play, plus they get their tokens back. Yeah, this isn't ideal for us. We're going to try our best to survive this. Spellbook Vendor comes in tapped. It's not ideal. We are going to Feather of Flight it, though, just to draw a card. Okay, we got another Feather, and we're going to hold up for our Shard Mage's rescue if it is needed. Because we're at 10 if they attack with everything. Probably they're going to attack with the Overlord. But the Overlord attacks and it makes these insects. I think they have us. Overlord of the Mistmoors is really great against us. And I don't think there's a way for us to get through this blockade. I mean, Spellbook Vendor can block at least in the coming turns. If we Ethereal Armor it and make it pretty big, but I don't think that that's necessarily enough. Alright, they've got their own Voice of Victory, so I think that does kill us. They've got 10 damage, so unless we get some form of lifelink right here, I think we're just done. Can they activate the Saw Blades? I guess they can. Craft for 4. So yeah, they've got a vehicle, so yeah, we're done. Good game, opponent. That's fair. Got through it. I mean, we're playing aggro, they're playing control. That's how it goes. Is that how the rock, paper, scissors works? Does aggro fold to control? I think it may be the other direction. Oh well. Okay, this is game 5 versus Magic. Ooh. Yeah, this is fine. We don't have an opening creature, but we will be able to open up with Authority of the Consuls, and we can crack our Chromatic Star to maybe find something else too. Authority, and keep it rolling. Our opponent may also be on white, with a Baneslayer Angel set of sleeves. We'll see. Yep, looks like. They've got a Seam Rip to get rid of our Authority of the Consuls. That seems good. We can use our own Seam Rip to get rid of their Seam Rip, though. And I think we will. Let's Chromatic Star. Alright, into a Seam Rip. And, yeah. Just doing silly things. So our opponent may be... yep, looks like this is the mirror. And that's fine. They have a land? Yep. Do they have a 1-drop aura? They do. Got it. Alright, we have our own Optimistic Scavenger, though. And we would like to shelter it by ghosts. I don't know if this is exactly the right thing to do, but it sure does get rid of what they've got. And this way, if they get a creature out, Authority is going to keep it tapped down. They won't be able to block us. That seems pretty good. We have Ward 2. So, yeah, they could still Seam Rip us, but it does not look like they're going to. And we've got Shard Mage's Rescue after this turn available to us, so that's good. They're leaving their star uncracked. Seems good. Oh, another Sheltered by Ghosts. All right, we're going to Feather of Flight right here. Draw a card, get some evasion. Not that we need the evasion right now, but get a little bit of extra power. Okay, we're doing fine. We're going to hold up our Shard Mage's Rescue and just keep it rolling. Hopefully, we get enough of a little cushion in terms of life that if they can turn things around for us, or for themselves, I guess, then we're not going to lose right away. They've got another Scavenger. Sounds good. They can play any enchantment and immediately Wonder Weave Aerialist. Okay, Spellbook Vendor is a very good pull. And the question is, do we Sheltered by Ghosts again and keep putting our eggs in the same basket? Their Aerialist is now a 4/4, presumably. I guess they put the counter on the Aerialist. We'll see. We'll see. Yep, looks like. So we can Shard Mage's Rescue right now, use our mana. Well, I guess that wouldn't be a terrific use of it. Yeah, I think we hold it up. They get to Scry. Seems good. We, of course, will just take the damage. They're thinking about what's on top. They don't want it. Okay. We've got another Authority of the Consuls. Well, that gives us more damage with our Optimistic Scavenger. And more damage seems good to me. I do think it's probably a good idea to get rid of one of their things with another Sheltered by Ghosts, but I'm going to hold back for now, just in case. Get in for 6 and pass. We've got 31 life and they've got 9. So, unless they get... Okay, Most Helpful Weaver will mess us up just a little bit. Stops us from attacking because it has reach. The token has reach. But we can Shard Mage's Rescue... We can Shelter by Ghosts, rather, that token. Oh, actually, we don't have to. It's already tapped down. So, Shelter by Ghost and Shard Mage's Rescue are both going to give +1/+1, or +1 to power, and we'll get even more +1 to power from the Optimistic Scavenger, so if they attack with the Aerialist, we win. If they don't attack with the Aerialist, we still win, because Sheltered by Ghosts can get rid of the Aerialist, and it only has Ward 2, which we can pay for. So I think this is our game. But they have nothing in hand, so we're going to Shard Mage's Rescue right now. Get our counter. Sheltered by Ghosts. And they see it. There it is. Good game magic. Ooh. All right. Well, we've got a pretty good record so far. Hard to beat mono white aggro. Oh. We're going right into game 6 versus Omen 13. Very spooky. This is not my favorite hand, but I suppose we can keep it. Using our Chromatic Star to find a land early on is probably not bad. We'll start with our Scavenger. We can just remove whatever they get in the way of us with Sheltered by Ghosts, like we did last time. That's not terrible. They're blue and black. Murky Sewers is... Oh, one of these. Cool. Ooh, very spooky. Yeah, let's go ahead and Optimistic Scavenger again. See if they have removal or anything along those lines. Yeah. They did hold up their mana. So I think what we'll do is we'll crack our star to just dig a little deeper before we cast something. That seems good. And then we're going to try an ethereal armor. See if they remove one of our creatures. Okay, they crack their own star. Very spooky. What do you got, opponent? Get a kill spell? Yep, Caustic Exhale will do it. So we don't even get our enters triggers. That's okay. Shotgun a Watery Grave. Seems alright. We will play this Wonderweave Aerialist. See if they want to kill our Scavenger. Or counter our Aerialist. Could happen too. They do. Alright. I sense that we might be having some dragons coming up soon. That's not ideal for us, but we do have Sheltered by Ghosts that can maybe help us out with it. Alright. A lot of interaction in our opponent's deck. We'll see what they have to say about a Most Helpful Weaver. Alright, they let it resolve. So our Scavenger's going to become a 2-2, and we get a 2-1. We attack. They have anything to say about that? They do. That Meringue River region. Yep, there it is. Okay. Opponent's got 5 mana in their control deck. They do get rid of our Scavenger. That's okay. Do they get rid of our Spider as well? Nope, they're going to stock up. I feel like... Do we Wonderweave or do we Spellbook Vendor and give this a Sorcerer roll? I think we'll do the Vendor. Push a little bit more damage, see if we can find ourselves a land. That's not a land. It would be good though, but we'd like a little bit more land just because we're mana limited right now. Alright, opponent's got 6 mana. They can play their own dragon. If they've got one, which I assume they do. 6 cards in hand. Yep, they've got a dragon. Kills both of our creatures. I mean, and they do it as a board wipe. That's fair. We will play an Aerialist and a Spellbook Vendor and just see if they have another one of those black dragons who can kill our board again. Deadly Cover Up, a very different board wipe, but sure, works for me. And then they're going to go through and find all of our somethings. Probably one of our creatures. Oh no, they take our Most Helpful Weavers. Interesting. Okay, well, that's fine. We've got 3 removal spells we can't use, so we'll just pass. I feel like this is a pretty bad matchup. We get 1 creature out, use our Shelter by Ghosts to remove whatever they've fielded. They kill our creature because they've definitely got something that can do that. Oh, Deceit. Oh, that's not great. Well, you can choose whatever you want, opponent. But it was evoked, so I guess it doesn't stick around until they get more mana and they get Virtue of Persistence it back out into play. And then they'll have... What is this thing? Just a 5/5? Yeah, okay. They stock up. This is a pretty solid competitor. Put a couple cards in hand. They've got enough mana now to play their Virtue of Persistence next turn. They duress us to get rid of another Sheltered by Ghosts, I assume. Yep. Alright, well. Keep waiting, I suppose. I feel like once they get a threat out and we don't have a way to deal with it, that's it for us. So Virtue of Persistence is going to start that next turn, but we do have Voice of Victory, which isn't terrible. It's fine. Let's Shelter by Ghosts to get rid of their Virtue of Persistence. I mean, it'll just come back, but at least they don't get their trigger next turn. And we've got a little bit of Ward. We'll see how this goes. I don't have a lot of faith here with our 8 mana. But at least I didn't let them reanimate their Deceit, which is the only thing they could have reanimated. Oh, I guess they could have stolen one of our things. Yeah, a graveyard. Yep, Caustic Exhale will kill us. They've got to pay for the ward, but they can. They're paying with their colorless mana, meaning they've got other colored spells in their hands. And yeah, that looks like it's the end for us. They're going to get back, presumably, Deceit as just a big attacker. Yep. Acres of mana, 6 cards in hand, one of which is a big dragon. Another Deceit, seems good. Yeah, do what you wish with it, opponent. Let's see what we draw. If it's anything at all. Nope. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make their Deceit fly, give them a good game. This just draws us a card, and if we get something, cool. Shoot the Sheriff to kill her own Deceit. I'm going to give him a crying emoji. That was good. Oh, that was very funny. Good game, Omen 13. Just to deny us the one card. Oh, the spite. Okay. Well, let's keep playing. Okay. We are right into Game 7 versus Baco 52. And I don't really like this hand. We've got no 1-drops other than Seam Rip, which ultimately maybe not be a bad thing. We're going to risk it. Let's turn off the lights. This is Duskmoor. It doesn't need to be lit up. Opponent's got these cool Ravnica sleeves, which obviously this is Lavinia, but it always looks like Tezzeret to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's the strips of fabric. Let me know in the comments if this looks like someone other than Lavinia to you. Maybe it's not Lavinia. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Alright, they're already cracking their Chromatic Star. They've got some green, and they're going to bushwhack to find a basic. Going to stay green. I think we've got a mono green player. So we're going to keep it rolling. They've got a Llanowar Elves. Well, we could Seam Rip that if we want to. I'm not 100% sure that I want to. Oh, they're going to keep finding land. And it's still green. Okay. Well, I think, now that we have an Optimistic Scavenger, we can Seam Rip those elves. Get ourselves a counter. You know, you gotta bolt the bird. Druid of the Cowl. Seems solid. But what if we got rid of their Druid of the Cowl and attacked for a bunch of damage with lifelink? You know? I mean, it's an option. They've got a horn beetle. So something we're not super concerned with. But if we shelter by ghosts again, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 for our ethereal armor, giving us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. Oh, I'm aware, opponent, don't worry. I haven't forgotten about you. Get a plains. Let's go ahead, crack our star. Another feather. Let's play our most helpful weaver. That way we've got a blocker. And we're going to go ahead and pump ourselves up one more. Opponent goes to 9, looks like. And we are in a situation where if they want to try and remove our scavenger, it's going to take them their whole turn with all of our ward on it. Okay, if they don't have anything that can block us, then we win next turn. Fanatical Strength seems good. Is this just a flunge? Yeah, it looks like. They get a counter, we pass. Put a counter on the scavenger, ethereal armor to make it huge. And we attack. Just in the air. And that's enough. Good game, Baco 52. All right. Back in again, very fast. This is game 8 versus Joey Jojo. I like that it's letting us into our games quickly. It makes me think there's a lot of people playing. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it just means that the games are going fast. But we're going to start with our Authority of the Consuls. I think we're going to Spellbook Vendor as our turn 2. Even though it doesn't give us something right away. Maybe the Weaver is better. Ooh, yep, we've got another one of these Is It players. And they just crack it for no further value. And they have to go to discard, which maybe is what they were going for? No! Joey Jojo, I'm so sorry. Good game. That's a shame. Sometimes you just aren't thinking about it. All right, we're going into game 9 versus Embalado. We can do this again, sure. Opponent is on the play, so I think we Authority first. Otherwise, I might have Veteran Survivored first. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we want to slow them down just a touch. This way we can Helpful Weaver, I think. Oh, okay. Virulent Emissary. Oh, we're doing Death Touch? Are we doing Poison or something? Oh, wow, they've got a lot of mana. At least we got some life out of it. That's fine. They can crack their star if they wish. They do not wish. Alright, most helpful Weaver it is. Get ourselves a spider that we don't really want to block with because we want to be able to get our value from Chapter 2. But at least we have a little bit of life as a cushion if they attack with everything, which I don't think they will. They want to use their Llanowar Elves to cast a 5-drop. We're doing that. Okay. I think Authority of the Consuls is going to be pretty nice for us here. We do want to get rid of that Virulent Emissary, since that's their source of life gain. Alright. Our spider's a little bigger. We can Wonder Weave to have a flyer. And I suppose hold up for Shard Mage's rescue. That seems good. We'll attack with our spider. So they don't want to give up their emissary, and that's fine. I don't think they're probably going to do anything aggressive to us, but I'd say we just pass anyway. And if we have to Shard Mage, we will Chromatic Star as well, so we get an extra card. I guess we don't have to Shard Mage, but it's hard not to do it if it lets us block that Starscape Cleric. Let's see if we get completely blown out here. They've got plenty of mana to use a removal spell and pay the ward. And they do. Witherbloom Charm will kill our Wonderweave Aerialist. We're going to take 3 damage, but at least we got it out of their hand, I suppose. Good way to be grateful for the 2-for-1, I suppose. Alright. At least we get some land. We've got a double striker. That seems good. We're going to play out... How do we want to do this? Here's a Scavenger. Here's a Most Helpful Weaver. We'll put the counter on the Scavenger, because they're going to just chump block our Spider. And we'll play a Survivor as well, to be ready for what comes next. Do they kill our Spider? Wow, an Assassin's Trophy though. That seems good. Draws them a card from their Chromatic Star, but we get another Plains in play. Which we are running light enough in our mana base that maybe that makes a difference for us. Anyway, let's keep it going. Ethereal Armor's not really doing that much for us right now. We will trade our Spider away, though. Unless they've got a trick. They do, so we don't take the damage, at least. And we got the removal out of their hand. That's fine. Okay, they are empty-handed. We will put a counter on our Survivor. And I think we're also going to Ethereal Armor our Survivor. And make it a little bit bigger, to force them to take damage or throw away one of their Land War Elves. Probably they throw away the elf. Oh, Virulent Emissary. They didn't notice the first strike. Okay. Well, we go to the end of combat, and we're going to exile, I think, the Emissary. And we pass. Okay, they've lost their ability to gain life, which helps us avoid the drain. We're still going to take 3 in the air. But we have a chance here. Okay, Multiversal Passage. We've got another Scavenger. That's not terrific for us, but we're doing fine. Play the Scavenger. Attack with both of our first strikers, one of which double strikes. Oh! They just let it go through. Wow. Okay. Well, guess we could have double striked on the Veteran Survivor. Maybe they wouldn't have said no blocks if that were the case, but that's alright. We're getting a little closer. They've got a Badger Mole Cub. Okay, so they've got 2 creatures in play, one of which is untapped because it is their land that was already untapped. They've got a lot of mana, and they're not doing anything with it too much. So let's see what we can do here. We can Seam Rip the Badger Mole Cub. That seems good. We'll get some counters on our creatures so that we can attack with a little bit of impunity, which we will do. They're going to start blocking. Seems good. We're doing 5. We're doing 2 to them right now. I say we hold off on our Shard Mage's Rescue. You never know what we're going to need. Our Veteran Survivor has just become quite big, though. That's pretty good. So if we Shard Mage's Rescue that, and then maybe we get a way to make it fly, that would be great. Since their 2 bats can't block anyway. They do some earthbending. We're taking 6 here. I don't mind that. They should attack with the bats no matter what, since they can't block with them. Okay. Alright, let's hope we get something good. Ethereal Armor is not going to really do it for us. But we can put it on one of our survivors. Pumping up the other survivor. So now we have quite a bit of damage. And it looks like they're probably going to take 5 here and lose their Wastewood Verge and their Llanowar Elves. Of course, they don't really lose the Verge. It comes back, but yeah. Oh, if we had Shard Mage rescued, and we can do it right now. On our Optimistic Scavenger, trigger both of our Scavengers to put enough counters on it to win. Good game Embolado. Neat. Pretty fun. Okay, this is going to be game 10, which may be our last game. We're going to see how we go with it. Game 10 is up against Zmazleki. I think I nailed that, so I'm not going to say it a second time. This hand is not terrific. Ooh, but I do like it in some ways. We're on the draw. Let's mulligan. This is worse. We mulligan again. Oh, this is not good for us. We will drop our Feather of Flight and our Shard Mage's Risk. No, in our Ethereal Armor. And hang on to our lands and just hope for the best. I think we should have kept that first hand. Oh well. They're going to surveil land. We get our Chromatic Star. Let's just play a landed pass. Opponent cracks their star early. Seems reasonable. I think we might do that too. Thanks for our mulligan. Oh, Bramble Familiar. Love it. I played that in Standard for a while. We're going to tap this for green to make them think that we might have green cards in our deck. And we will play our vendor. Buried in the Garden to get rid of our Spellbook vendor. Interesting. Okay. Well, we've got a Seam Rip, which cannot get rid of Buried in the Garden, but it can get rid of their Bramble Familiar. So it will. They've still got 5 mana. Summon Titan is pretty dangerous for us. They mill 5. It's a 7/7 Trampler. Good grief. Alright, we're not doing great here. They get some lands back. It's pretty sweet. What else do they have going on here? Trail of Teacups. And Day of Judgment. Sorry. I guess they throw that away because they're planning to reanimate something? I'm just guessing. We've got another Feather of Flight, so we're just sort of watching them play at this point. Good grief. Do we have some kind of like... Bahamut? Wow. Give them a nice. If we get a creature, we can steal it, though. Or, no, this is Shard Mage's rescue. Never mind. We're just going to cry a little bit, I guess. Let's Feather a Flight on our Scavenger and pretend that we can use it to block. Draw another card, get a counter. Yep, there's a Voice of Victory, but it's not really going to help us much. They can try and destroy our Scavenger, but we're going to Shard Mage's Rescue. So if they have something else, then we lose it. But otherwise, we get to keep it. Then they draw 2, and it does a whole lot of damage. Okay, and it's got trample and lifelink now. Thanks, Yuna. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't think this is not gonna go very well for us. Sometimes, you know, it's just, it gets out of hand, and it's just the only thing you can do is laugh at it. Feather Flight to draw a card. Right on. Voice of Victory to have a blocker on the ground. Because we can Shard Mage's Rescue to block their Bahamut and kill the Bahamut, but the trample is going to kill us with everything else. Yep. That's cool. We will Shard Mage's Rescue again. Thank you, I suppose. I mean, we still die on the ground. This doesn't have indestructible, does it? Nope. So yeah, we trade. That seems pretty funny. Sure, I guess. And they get it right back. Nice deck, bro. Yep, we're gonna Feather Flight on their Yuna. Give him a Love Hedron back. And then that is good game. Sure. We'll give him the Party Hedron. And just let them swing and kill us. That's nice. They put the Bramble Familiar back in their hand so that they could do the cool fetch quest. But then they just swung out because they saw that we had good gamed and the game was over. I think that that is a polite way to end it. You know, sometimes you want to let your opponent do the cool thing that they're doing, but if it's clear that it's over, you know, don't waste their time. We'll play another one. Hate to go out on that. It was fun, though. All right, this is game 11 versus Sea Swan 999 with a really nice Aang avatar. Oh, I can do this. Yeah. On the play, absolutely. We're going to go backwards from what we did earlier. We're going to start with our Veteran Survivor. And we will Authority the Consuls on the second turn. And hope they don't have a 1-drop. Oh no. It's the Izzet deck again. Oh no. It's Gran. Oh no. Well... we're gonna crack our Chromatic Star and see what else we've got. Oh goodness, Wonder Weave Aerialist is pretty sweet. We're gonna Ethereal Armor on our Veteran Survivor and play Authority the Consuls. It's not gonna help us very much, but we can at least get in for 4. They're not gonna block with Gran. Eat our own star. Voice of Victory might be a good play, honestly, depending on what they do right now. Hyro's Demonstration kills our Veteran Survivor, so it seems fine. Gran. Shard Mage's Rescue would be sweet on Voice of Victory, but as it stands, I think we play the thing that has a little bit of ward. Make them work a little bit for killing it. And it could block Gran. little hesitant to attack with Grand Grand. Seems reasonable. Boomerang basics, and they pay the ward. Seems good. Now Grand Grand is online, which I don't love. But we can at least Voice of Victory and hold up Shard Mage's Rescue. Iroh's Demonstration, Shard Mage's Rescue. Let's see if it works. They have a counterspell. They have another piece of interaction. Looks like they have something. They do. Combustion Technique. Okay, sure. We're using up their cards. It's something. We'll play 2 creatures this time. They will accumulate some wisdom. Seems good. Double Ancestral Recall. Now that is definitely beatable, right? Right? Woof. The third Ancestral Recall is the one that really gets you. They get rid of our Wonderweave Aerialist, so we can't fly. And we will kill Grand Grand. I assume they have a second Grand Grand in hand. But you know, just in case. We'll play our Spellbook Vendor. We'll play a Plains. We will go ahead and give it a Sorcerer roll, and we'll hold up the Ethereal Armor. Pass to our opponent. Yep, Firebending Lesson. I am thinking this is probably not worth sitting through. Yeah, they're just going to get out. This is the actual deck. Yeah, Seam Rip can get rid of Artist Talent, I suppose. You know, it's something. Yeah, this is too far. Let's give him a good game and go to a game that's a little bit more satisfying. Good game, C-Swan 999. If we're gonna go beyond our normal 10 games in order to have a satisfying ending, I think playing against Is It Lessons is probably not that. Okay, game 12 versus Grim123198. This is a little better, and we're on the play again. I say we started off similarly to what we did last time. We get our Scavenger, and we hope they have no 1-drop. Oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? What? Why do we have a 185 card deck? What? What is our opponent playing? What's happening? What? Okay, no hint from the Sargon backs. I guess we're just gonna... Yeah, let's Authority, I suppose. Just to slow down whatever this madness is. And get in for 2. Huh. Well, That's a surprise, we'll just say. Okay, I think we're going to crack our star here. I'd like to see if we can get a 1-drop of some sort. We might not be able to. It's fine if we can't. Oh, that is one. We'll play our aerialist. I'm not convinced that they don't have something that can kill our scavenger, but maybe they'll use it right now. If they do, that's fine. Mouser attack. Interesting. They make a 1/1. It comes in tapped though. We get a little life. I'm going to put ethereal armor on our aerialist since it has that ward, and they just give up. Good game, Grim 123198. Yeah, that wasn't that satisfying of an ending either. I think we're going to go to Lucky 13, and win or lose, that'll be our last game. Still don't know what they were doing with 180 some odd cards in their deck. It's a mystery. If you know what that was about, let me know in the comments below. Alright, this is game 13 versus Josefu. Josefu? Perhaps. This isn't ideal, but I guess we can keep it. Would like to go a little faster than this. Maybe we'll mulligan this. Okay, sure. We can do this. We can toss our Feather of Flight. Start with our aerialist, maybe. Maybe our Voice of Victory. Okay, green. We've got... it's landfall. Oh no. We're not going to win our last game. That's okay. You can't win them all. Go ahead and take the one from the Chocobo. We got a Badger Mole Cub on board. Seems good. We're going to play our aerialist since it's a little protective. But they do have, assuming they play a land here, 4 mana. Ice Till Explorer, interesting. Landfall, mill a card, you can play lands from your graveyard. Oh, they lost Chocobo though. They've got a Promising Vein, which costs an extra 1 to crack. Yeah, we're not going to block that, obviously. I think what we might do, though... feels bad to get rid of the Chocobo if the Badger Mole Cub is so dangerous. Maybe we play Helpful Weaver and we hold up Shard Mage's Rescue. That way we've got another blocker. We're still going to take the damage from the Chocobo, of course. Okay, they crack their star, meaning they probably don't have a plan for that mana. Okay, seems good. What do you got for us, opponent? Fecund Green Shell. Now that's something that's worth sheltering by ghosts. We're going to take the damage from the Chocobo because then we lose both of our creatures if we don't. But I think it is worth it to make our spider bigger here. To Sheltered by Ghosts on our aerialist, getting rid of the green shell. And as much as I would like to Voice of Victory, I think we need the Shard Mage's Rescue to stick around. So we're just going to attack here and let that life gain act as the equivalent of blocking. Another Badger Mole Cub. Alright, they got quite a bit of mana. They can crack this Promising Vein now if they want to. But they do have to tap down their forest in order to do so. Destroy an artifact or an enchantment. Okay, so they get rid of our shard mage, or our Sheltered by Ghosts. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Shard Mage's Rescue cannot hit that, so yeah, they're just gonna get their creature back. A shame. Haven't seen Web Strike Elite in a long time. Cool. Earthbender Ascension, yep. We're having to fight the Earth itself here. It's not going terrific for us. Lots of triggers. When you look at a board state like this, it sure doesn't look like we have a lot of hope. But you might discover you're right. We just don't. Yeah, we're gonna kill this Badger Mole Cub, I suppose. Draw a card. And let's Shard Mage's Rescue. No, I think what we do is we Feather a Flight. Draws us another card, even though we lose our creature. Most Helpful Weaver exists. That's fine. Another Sheltered by Ghosts. Great. Okay, well, we've got Double Strike. And we've got 5 mana, which is actually fine, I think. Helpful Weaver. So we have another chump blocker for next turn. Sheltered by Ghosts to modify our Aerialist and get rid of their feckin' green shell. They crack their passage. We get some triggers. Do we just do the 6? If we don't, we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to 2. But we got that life gain. I think we hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue just in case. I'm just not trusting that we can keep our creature if they have some removal. We have to block the Chocobo, I think, because the Chocobo, they have ways they can make it bigger at instant speed, like cracking the Promising Vein. And when they do that, Earthbender Ascension triggers, well, they don't even have to now. Fabled Passage makes the Earthbender Ascension get to 4 quest counters, so now they can give the Chocobo Trample. And presumably they will. Yep, they did. It looks like I don't really need to worry about interaction from this opponent. Are we already dead? It looks like we are. with all these triggers, and they can crack the escape tunnel, and they can crack their promising vein, I think we've got too many creatures with too much trample to really stop all of this from happening. They swing out. Or just with their tramplers? No, out. They hold back the promising vein so they can crack it, of course. We are going to just cry a little bit, I suppose. We'll block the Badger Mole Cub. We're not blocking as much damage, but we will when we Shard Mage's Rescue, I suppose. It at least kills the cub. But then they Earthbender Ascension on it, but they could do that on the Explorer as well. Yeah, it's fine. The game's over. It is our loss, and that is fine. We'll give them a good game right now. Oh, nice. We'll give them a Love Hedron. All right, going a little bit to the end of their... to the just utmost of what they can do. Good grief. They get the trigger, they'll get the fetch as well. Just pumping up creatures that aren't even attacking seems fine. We will Shard Mage's Rescue right here and call it a day. Good game, Josefu. Or Josephu. Whatever your name may be pronounced to be. That was fun, though. We got to see a deck that was different from the other decks that we saw. And we got to try out a bunch of different things. So one of the reasons I really love Midweek Magic is that it's always something different. Even if it's not always brand new, it's something unexpected. And that gives us a little bit of variety to enjoy in the middle of the week. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to support what I do here, make sure to like and subscribe. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when my videos go live. Come back this Thursday to see my next Secrets of Strixhaven Commander deck. I do those every Thursday, as well as other Commander decks on Mondays. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Maybe you want to do that. Something new I've been doing recently. But most of all, what I'd like most from you, the best way to support the channel, is remember that Magic is fun. You should play more Magic.